Welcome to Unshakeable, the podcast that shares stories of resilience in the face of life's toughest challenges. I'm your host, Siviwe Shakes Soizwapi, and each week we dive into real conversations that not only inspire but help us grow, offering insights on how to navigate our own struggles with strength and purpose. Because resilience isn't about being unbreakable, it's about standing firm when life tries to shake you. This is Unshakable. Let's get into it. Hello, Unshakable family. Welcome to another episode. I'm feeling very exhausted today. I just came from a dungeon class. It's called The Dungeon, and our guest here today actually put me through my paces. I blame him for the state that I'm in right now, but I'll let him explain why he actually decided maybe it's a strategy for him to get me to take it easy on him today. You never know. But we're shooting all the way in Johannesburg, and it was amazing to bump into an incredible friend that I've known for years, Brian. He has lived in Johannesburg, grew up and was born here, went to St. Andrew's College in Grahamstown. He then joined the Lions Academy for a bit before heading down to Australia, down under, where he joined the Roosters rugby league team. He then made his way back to South Africa, and we actually played in the same team in the Eastern Cape for the Eastern Province, and we really enjoyed great time. So for me, I really had to just catch up with him and link up and make sure that we just chat a little bit about his journey and what he's doing now, because he has transitioned outside of rugby and is now a businessman and entrepreneur. Really excited and interested to hear his story, what his lessons, his life lessons have been. And just a casual chat like we always do here at Unshakable, but obviously looking for that unshakable moment. So today on Unshakable, please welcome Brian Skosana. Pravi.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, man, for this opportunity.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
Every time I come to Josie, he's got a spot at the airport at OR Tambo. Two spots, I think. Two spots in restaurants, and I try my best to just pop him a message and say, "Hey, Bravi, I'm in town." So I always see you briefly, but now to get to go to the gym together, and now having a catch up, shooting a pot.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for this morning, Bravi.
Why did you decide to kind of throw that probably?
To be honest with you, it's always nice to jump in the gym with like guys you used to gym with and you used to see in the training.
Yeah.
It's a nice measure to see where you should be at versus where you are at. So
you actually pushed me.
Yeah, you were as always.
Amazing for me. I just wanted to chat a little bit about you growing up in Joburg, firstly, and how you ended up in Grahamstown, and then we'll chat a little bit about the Roosters in Australia, and then mostly just the transition from rugby into the business space. Josie boy, how long were you here?
So actually I didn't really grow up in Joburg.
Born here?
I was born here, and when I was in grade 2 I actually moved to Grahamstown. So started at Graham College in I think it was 99 or 98. And my sister was in Grahamstown at DSG, so my mom tells the story that I missed her apparently, and I kept crying for her every time I would get home from school.
Yeah.
So she said, well fine, go to Grahamstown and go be with your sister.
Yeah.
So pretty young age to go to boarding school, but you know what that's like. Joined Graham College, was there, wasn't happy, and then I moved across to St. Andrew's, which is the brother school of DSG, and my parents had a guest house there, so I was a weekly boarder, which was nice. And and then I was, our boarding school is you have 3 terms, so majority of the time been Zechrin.
No, amazing. And obviously played rugby there, and there's a massive rugby culture at St. Andrews. And obviously you ended up getting into rugby. How did you end up playing rugby first, and then I'll ask you about the rugby in St. Andrews.
So I don't know how old you were when you first picked up a rugby ball.
9?
Nine.
9.
Okay, so I think we are at the same age. I didn't play sports in when I was 8 years old at Graham College, but when I went to St Andrews, it was like a big thing in the boarding house. Somebody would be throwing around a ball, kicking a ball around. So then I actually started playing at hooker in
No way.
in grade 9. Yeah, I think I was like the big kid, but
So much skill.
yeah, you know what I mean. But I wasn't that guy. I was just like didn't know what was going on. So they thought, let's just throw this guy in the middle there, he'll figure it out. And and so I started playing rugby when I was 9 at hooker position. It's probably the best place to learn rugby because you learn a lot of things that locks have really long arms and they can reach up through and just give you a nice blow. But so you started there, and then a friend of mine actually he'd moved from Selborne to St Andrews in grade 5, Kanya Malindi, and he had older brothers who loved rugby.
Yeah.
And I actually learned so much from him that like watching the sport and being about the sport was like it just became a big part of me.
Yeah.
I used to love playing squash, and squash was actually my favorite thing because that's what I used to do with my old man and my sister. And then transitioned to rugby. Fitness, yes.
So you were at Andrews from a young age, eh?
So since I was 9 years old.
Since you were 9, and the rugby culture there is very big. How did that shape you as a rugby player going into rugby?
I thought you might ask this. So I don't know. So you guys at Dale obviously play like song schools like Grey PE often and Selborne twice a year. Then you'll play us. But in grade 8, when you play us, it's like St Andrews. It's a Wednesday fixture, you know, because we're not used to playing at like that intensity and that like heat that you guys bring.
Yeah.
So only when we get older and we get a bit bigger and we get used to, you know, we're soft in the beginning and then we get used to the boarding school food, that we actually like grow into the people. And when I was in grade 8 actually, so sorry I'll fast forward now, but when I was in grade 8, you know Chris, I think you played with Chris at the Kings, and Chris Clutie actually was the opposing captain and we were playing against each other in grade 8. And they ended up putting like 70 points on us in grade 8 against Selborne. Him and Wandile Jekevu, and it was like a stacked team.
Yeah. And
then in our matric year, when we played them, it was like we were leading like 22-3 or something at the time. So we were all over them, just playing good rugby. And then half time they came on and they just scored 27 points the second half, like just blew us out of the water. Yeah, they did well. Jex wasn't there anymore, but Chris and Matt Williams and the gang, they just came in and they just and Upoloko actually.
Oh yeah. Oh, player.
Yeah, player. So they just blew us out of the water. And I went to Chris after the game and I was like, mate, you have to tell me what your coach said to you at half time, because the guys that came out second half weren't these guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, no mate, he actually didn't say anything. He just said to us, if you think these guys are better than Grey Bloom, because apparently they lost to Grey Bloom by like 2 points or something.
Yeah.
And he said, if you guys think that these guys are better than Grey Bloom, then it's fine, lose the game.
Wow.
And we'd never obviously played against Grey Bloom, so they knew what intensity to take the game to. And that's what blew us out of the water. So I think those type of things, like that measure, and I think you'll feel the same.
Definitely.
You know, like when you play against Selborne or Grey, you up the intensity.
Always.
Yeah, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Now I mention Kingswood because they're still off your players, but yeah.
They take everyone, especially in matric.
You know what I mean?
All the guys know if you want to do post matric, you go to Kingswood College.
You go to Kingswood.
Pravi, the environment at St Andrews. You mentioned the boarding school food and all of that. It's, you know what, I'll be honest with you, you get a whole lot of characters, and some guys are from the hood, some guys are from the village.
Yeah.
So some guys would literally, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I will, would literally take up a sport so that they can, like cricket.
Yeah, okay.
So that they can play against St Andrews, and then they can have all the nice food that they have on offer. And obviously they'll enjoy the cricket and stuff, but they're not really into it. They just want that food. Gauge, bro. Tell me, like, obviously it was a little bit in a little bit of a higher class compared to Dale and other schools. For you, how was that experience? Was it something that you were always used to, or was it new for you as well going into St. Andrews? And how did it impact you in just the person that you became?
So I'll go back to my parents because I'm very grateful for them, and I think I wouldn't be half of the person I am if it wasn't for them. But my mom's a very humble person, my dad also, but very humble, and they have always taught us that you can have whatever you want in this life, and we'll give you whatever you want in this life, my sister and I, but you have to earn it. So it could be like we wanted to go on a holiday somewhere, and my mom would be like, you're not going to go unless you get like these marks, or you're 10 year old, or I get a good report and whatever. And my dad was the same. So they made sure that we were never spoiled, and we always appreciated everything that we got. So whether it was like a PlayStation, I'd be like, Mom, can I get a PlayStation? And I know she would, like, you know,
you can't afford this.
And she'd be like, no, we're not getting it. So I'm like, Mom, please, man. And then but then she'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll get it for your birthday.
Yeah.
But they used to play this game with me that you won't get it, you know. And then on my birthday you get it, and you're so happy that you've got this thing. And for me it was like you play it for 3 days, then you lose interest in it. And like a small kid, right? I think
so true, right?
You would have had the same thing.
That is so true.
Even like a new pair of boots, you know, like you play in them and you run around in them and you're like happy, yeah. And then you lose the attachment to that asset or whatever that thing is. And my parents were like, you've got the thing now, but does it make you happier, or what does it make you feel? And I was always like, I always never understood why they were asking that. And then later on I realized, when I had to start buying my own stuff, that, right, so just because you can get the thing, don't get the thing because you think it's going to make you happy. Get it because you want it, not because
everyone else has it.
Yeah. Shakes has got his underarm. Now I also need to go get my underarm, you know?
No, that's good.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, I think I might have strayed away from the question, but getting to St. Andrews, and like when you have a whole lot of people that can afford a lot of different things in this life, and seeing how they behave and seeing how their parents behave, it's like the only word I can use is a mixed masala.
Yeah.
It's a mixed masala but it also teaches you to be nice to everyone. So many people that like, you're like, dude, that guy, he's maybe not good at sport, but he's an academic, but he's chilled or whatever. But at home, the guy is living. You know what I mean? Like, he's living.
I'm with you.
But he's quiet and he's just like chilled. And then you go to his house and you're like, hey, bro, why do you like take so much nonsense from these guys? And they're just like, dude, like, he's like, it's just material things. Like, it doesn't make me a better person. It doesn't make me worse. He's like, it's quite interesting, that type of thing. Then you'll get another guy who maybe has less but likes to show off because he can't get the stuff, and he'll have it in your face, and then you're like, dude, like, you don't have to be that guy.
Yeah.
But you learn to value like how to treat people, and that you should treat everyone the same level of respect, same level of thing. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was like at Dale, but like, I know you're saying like, guys taking our sport to come charts and animals. Yeah, makes me feel like a bit of a brat because we hated the food. But yeah, we used to come to Dale's to come chow.
Something different.
Or like, stop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was what we wanted, man.
Chicken feet.
That's what we wanted, man, you know what I mean? But we couldn't get it. That.
Yeah, no, I like that, Ravi.
Yeah.
And at Dale as well. Obviously, everywhere you go, people are never going to be on the same level.
Yeah.
So it does teach you just to treat everyone the same, though, regardless of that. And obviously, even back at when we played together, I saw that in you. I think that's why, for me, I gravitated towards you as a friend as well, because you're always inviting, and I knew you went to a school like St. Andrews. I knew you just had a great stint in Australia, but the first person that meets you, they'll never say that. So you treated everyone the same, which was pretty cool. Dale was chicken feet.
Was it?
It wasn't really, but I mean, when you're on holiday and when you're back at the hood, you'll have your chicken feet and stuff like that.
A delicacy, I might add. Beautiful stuff, thank you.
But that's what it's about. It's really about that. And I think if you have the opportunity, obviously, to compare both worlds, because I would leave St. Andrews, come back here, and my mom's like, you're going to Soweto to your aunt for a week or two, or Springs to your uncles, or they're like, you shouldn't lose that. Shouldn't lose that. And I think being at St. Andrews, you're always talking English. And I thought it was just like, since I was at 9, that's all I've known. And it might be like incorrect of me to say, but a lot of the time the teachers that couldn't, or I would say wouldn't understand or didn't want to learn, would be like, stop speaking languages. If we were 3 of us. And we could never call them out on it, because you were like, let me rather just keep quiet. This is a talk, I must say, but
was that to kind of improve your guys' English, or what was that all about?
I still don't really know, but I think it might have been, they were thinking that it might have been, I think in any time when you've traveled the world, right? So you go overseas and you hear somebody talking different language, and you start thinking they're like,
are you talking about me? I hear you.
And
it's probably actually a respectful thing.
Yeah, but
you shouldn't think it's like a negative thing, but they're probably thinking, hey, respect other people that don't understand your language.
Yeah.
But I need to add, because also the school that I went to, you were not allowed to speak. Don't speak isiXhosa, you're not allowed to speak Xhosa. But when the Afrikaans kids spoke Afrikaans, I don't believe it was that same energy, So I think on the outside it was always it's so that you can improve, right? But it's so bad, because now I'm more comfortable in English rather than isiXhosa. Stop! Don't do that. But so as much as they can say it was to improve, and maybe a part of it was, but a certain level of it is just, I don't know, it's not that. A certain part of it is not that as well. So I must agree with you there.
Ravi, you mentioned your folks, and you also mentioned one thing you learned from them, and one thing that impacted you. How would you say that they've played a role in the person you've become? But what is the best or biggest lesson that you learned from both of them?
Ooh, this is a good one. That's a good one, buddy.
I think while we're still on the folks, let's just touch on that.
Like I said, the most important thing is treating everyone on the same level, whether they, like you said in the airport, clean the toilet or are a CEO of some business. I think to have a conversation and to recently, so I'll say it. So recently, I've had a little bit of a turning point. So you kind of, the older you get, the more you understand your parents. I think you have it the same.
So true.
So one of my favorite quotes is actually we grow up thinking our parents don't understand our struggles, but actually they made sure we never felt their struggles. And my parents have been like subject to, because they were in the apartheid era, and now they're subject to me having, say, a lot of white friends, a lot of like different multicultural friends, and friends from other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And for them, they don't really have that. They just have their clique of friends, you know, that they either went to school with or that they worked with or things.
Yeah.
And my dad, like, I call him Mr. Accountability. That's what we call him in our family. He holds me accountable on almost everything that I do, but I've learned to love it because he's now become what a coach would be in life. So I think, like, you know, like when you, like with Robbie, like Robbie Kempson was that guy who'd be like, if you had a video session, you know, you were never getting shouted at, but we were always getting shouted at. But yeah, so my dad's like, he'll have like a video session on life and perspective, and he lets me go, and I really love that he's like become quite a trusting individual in myself, and he's also like, he listens. Growing up, he was very like, this is how it is, that's how it is. And now he's like, tell me what you think. And that is so valuable for me, because he's like now giving me, not to say he doesn't know what to do, but he wants to understand, if I pass this business on to you, how are you going to run it? And if you run it, are you going to go up or are you going to go down? Because what he thrives for is black people opening their own businesses, but what he dislikes, and he's like, I wish I could help everyone. He's like, I hate, and he's like, I don't ever want to be one of those black businesses that started well that failed. And I think he's passed that on to me, and he's like, whatever you do, make sure you give 100%. Try whatever you're going to try, but make sure that you've got the backup plan and the accountability plan. My mom, humble, treat everyone with respect. Don't ever get ahead of yourself. Don't ever get ahead of yourself. And there's been moments where she'll be tough, but I love her for it. Like, she knows that I love fashion and I love clothes and whatever. And she used to say to me, you must stop lending your friends your clothes. You know how it is in the boarding house. So just come in and
you're missing a shirt.
Yeah, you miss a shirt. He's a warrior, man, like, you know. Or and she'd be like, stop lending your friends your clothes. And then she's like, I know you're lending your friends clothes because you've got other people's clothes. So I'm like, yeah, but Mom, we're just sobbing. It's like, no, stop. So then I said to her one day, I said, Mom, you know what? One day I'm gonna be able to afford my own clothes. And she was like, that's fine. But even then, stop lending your friends your clothes. And I made like a young dumb purchase. But I bought like a pair of shoes for like a couple hundred euros, and I lent them out to someone. And they came back unwearable. And my mom just said, she just looked at me, because I was like, Mom, please.
She didn't rub it in.
She said, no.
She just knew that was a lesson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was a tough lesson to learn, but I learned it.
Listening to that from both your folks, like, I see both of them in you. I'll leave it right there, because hearing all of that, and just that's a funny story of your mom. I don't want to elaborate too much on it. You probably surely learned your lesson.
No, I learned it the hard way.
Take us back to when you made Craven Week 2009. You were representing EPCD. And you ended up making SA Schools. How was that achievement for you at the time?
Sure. So it's the 3-day process, right? So I played the first 2 days, but I'd actually torn my meniscus earlier in the year.
Okay.
So I didn't know how bad it was, but then I realized I can play rugby like you, and I can just swerve. And I don't have to step off anything, so I just swerved a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So so it worked, and I just kind of found myself in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Got lucky, scored some tries, and then I think I became a part of the conversation. But the guys in my team, the Marlow guys, were like, mate, like on the second day they were like, mate, like they've shortlisted you, whatever. I was like, I don't even understand that. The wingers on show here, Craig Barry and them.
Oh my word!
These gents.
That year actually, eh?
Yeah, that's when he scored the magical. And I was like, dude, these guys are cooking. So it's not me.
Yeah.
And I was also playing out of position, playing wing. So I hadn't played wing before, but I was enjoying it. And you know me. I mean, you always leave me in the dust. So there was no pace. There was no pace. But I got lucky, and then then I was actually, my sister had come up to watch me, and I was driving back with her to Grahamstown. It was in East London. I was driving back, so maybe the conditions suited me. Driving back, and then she was like, and then somebody called me. One of the parents called me, and they were like, have you seen it? I said,
oh, they announced it.
Yeah. So it was actually Tyler's dad, Dale Paul.
Yeah.
And I was like, what does that mean? And he said, man, like you made the SS Schools team.
Wow.
So I was like, this is quite wild, this is, you don't go to Craven Week thinking this is like the end goal, but you get there.
Being at Craven Week is a massive achievement.
It's in its own, right?
Yeah.
And to kind of add to this, I'd gone to New Zealand earlier in the year.
Okay.
To the Murray Mixed Academy.
Okay.
And I think you went as well.
No, that was big at the time though.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, I didn't go.
Okay, so I went to that. So you were just naturally gifted. So
I got lucky as well.
Okay.
I had a lot of luck on my side.
What was your story?
Pravi, I actually we had Craven. Do you remember Craven? Akumile. I don't think you know him. He went to school with me at Dale.
Okay.
And he always played Craven Week.
Yeah.
Since he was 11. Like he played Craven 5 times.
Yeah.
3 times at under 13.
Yeah.
Twice at under 18.
See, that's a bit. So
he was just. That's why his name is Craven. He got nicknamed Craven.
Okay.
Because of that. So this guy was my best friend, and I was like so envious of that, bro. Like my thing was like I need to make Craven Week.
Yeah, somewhere.
And I never made Craven Week. Never.
At all.
At all. And in my grade 11 year, 2010, I went for trials and didn't make Craven Week, didn't make Academy Week. And then I was like, okay, it's done. Because I was 1 year older, the next year I was 19.
Right.
So I couldn't play Craven Week in matric.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, it's done. But I'll never forget this day. I was showering at the hostel, Frank Jubé House. And it was after a training day. I had, funny enough, I wonder if it's not the day I met my wife.
Aww, good luck. This is what it is.
I had just come from a kicking practice on my own on a Wednesday. I was a kicker, not anymore. Kicking for poles, so I was practicing. And I was showering at the hostel, and I got a phone call from Gavin Jones. He was a coach at the school.
Yeah.
He would have been he was the head coach of the academy that year.
Okay.
So it's like one of the guys, something happened in the Craven Week team, so one of the guys was pushed up to the Craven Week, and you really had a good trial, but you just missed out, and now you are the next guy in line on the short list.
Massive.
You're gonna play Academy Week. You couldn't see the tears because the shower was flowing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I had my phone close to me. I was probably playing music in the shower.
As always. Yeah.
So, but then I got that call. Same as you, like we went to Frey 8 and my jersey number was 22. But I started and played all the games, all the minutes. I made a good impact in in the first game, so Craven kept me there. And I must also say thank you to him, because from that first game, he told me, you need to play sevens. You need to play sevens, and at the time, what is sevens?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he kind of showed me sevens games, and she told me to follow these links and all that stuff. But yeah, the rest is history. Then I went to the Kings, and that's where we played together and all of that. But Pravi, I wanted to ask about the Roosters. Because you went, I don't want to talk too much about myself now, because I want to chat about your journey. You, after that, you obviously made SA schools, and then Lions Academy was in the mix somewhere, but then the Roosters thing came up.
Yes.
So chat to us a little bit about the Lions, which was, I think it was a short stint. But
so it was, I was meant to go to Western Province, right, in that time, to join that academy. And
that was good.
Yeah, Marius was there. I don't know if Marius was still there when you were there, but Marius is there.
Which Marius?
I can't remember his name.
The guy that was
he was like the recruiter.
Yeah.
So he said come to Western Province, but he had come to me during the Craven week. I think it was day 2, and he said, "Cool, this is the Province Academy. This is kind of how it works, you know." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I have a look, and then there were scouts there, Sydney Roosters scouts there, and apparently AFL scouts. Obviously, I didn't make it because I'm not a kicker, but but the Sydney Roosters. Well, one of the guys was from the Sydney Roosters, and the other guy was just a management guy, so the agent. And they had come up to me and then said, "Can I have your details?" and through stuff. And I remember it was. So they had sent the deal through, and I was with my parents, and it was our third term, half term, so end of like matric, just before we started writing our finals exams, and I was sitting there looking at this contract, and obviously it was all in dollars, so I was like, "Oh, this looks lovely," and you know, and my mom and dad were like, "Cool, are you happy to do this?" And I said to my sister, I was like, "I don't know if I'm ready to go to Australia or not." And because I'd gone to New Zealand that year, we stopped over in Australia, me and my dad, and funny enough, I was watching rugby league on TV, and then my sister's like, "But dude, for 3 years you've been talking about wanting to go play rugby in Australia. You want to go play rugby in Australia. Here's the opportunity. I don't think it's going to come again." So I was like, "Cool." So signed the contract, but this was actually before this. We had gone on the SA schools journey, and we played against England and France. And in the English team was actually like Christian Wade and the Vunipola brothers and Owen Farrell. So these guys were stacked as well. And I was chatting to Sia about it, and he was like, "Dude, I've also got this contract, but you can always go to Australia." And I was like, "I don't know if that opportunity will always be there." So he joined Province, and I was like, "I'm going to Australia. Let me go try this out. What's the worst that could happen?" So then signed the contract, and I flew over with my parents. Fortunate enough, and this is why I love them so much. And they came over with me to Sydney, and completely new sport, don't know what's going on. I'm 18 years old, and so I get there, and then they have a bit of issues with my visa, and how you need a sponsor for Australia if you want to be there, so it's like it's quite a lot happening. So they now, instead of my contract was over 3 years, and in the third year was where the big money came. So they had to split it up over the 3 years. Thank goodness, because would have been living off beans. But they gave me like housing and all of that, which was great, and a great family. And it was very tough to kind of adapt to Australia living. Australians are different people, as you know. But Sydney people are a bit different to the Gold Coast, I think. But they're really friendly and very lovely people. Love the sport, and probably the closest to us as Africans. But light humor. Like, I used to get worked up about a lot of stuff, and they were always like, "No worries, mate. No worries, mate." Yeah. So so it was different, and living there was also like adapting and making new friends. But the best part was obviously having the team, so that was easy. But very challenging part of life. But it taught me so much, and it taught me that you can be independent, you know, outside of your parents, and at a young age as well. But obviously boarding school gives you that. It gives you all of those skills. But coming along to Sydney and in a new like change room, a new form of rugby, trying to understand the language, because the language is different. I know that even from like 15s to 7s, I think you've got more experience on this.
Yes.
The language is totally different, right? So so in my first year there was a bit of a cock up with that, because I was like there for 3 months, then back in SA, there for 3 months, and I just they were trying to like sort out my visa, so I didn't really play much rugby. And then I come back and I was here in Joburg, and then the Lions were like, well, look, we need a centre, come Joel. And I was like, oh cool, so I came and I played under 19 Curry Cup with some really cool guys, some legends, Faf de Klerk and Sydney Roosters, and so
also stacked.
Stacked Lions team. So it was very cool. That was nice, like nice to play a bit of rugby, because I hadn't played the whole year. I'd just been like in and out of Oz and just training now and then. But like that was a tough year, and I think that's kind of like the big building year that you need. But it was fun, like, you know, like then playing, and then I was like, okay, cool, so you got to work on this, and this is what rugby is now about. So if you want to take it seriously, this is what it's about. And then after that, actually, I had a week with the Sevens guys, with Paul True, and Chase Minnow was actually
was that 2010?
That was 2010, yeah. So, but I was still kind of recovering from my meniscus. And Cecil and Stick and Pombios. So then, which is quite funny, because I didn't know that I'd see them later in my story, but they were all there. And I remember, because I'd obviously been in Sydney, so in like gymming for league is like, it's a lot of upper body, like skinny legs. So I was perfect.
I remember when you came.
So and then so I'd obviously like blown up, because I mean, you'll know, you go from like school where you don't really go to gym, then you go to gym every day, and that compound you build up quite quickly.
It's a lot of contact indeed.
A lot of contact as well. So I came back, so I played the Lions at a 19 and then joined the Sevens, and Cecil and them, so you know, with the wrestling and stuff like that. So it was me and him, Jakes, we got over, and Cecil and them go, they're looking at me, and I'm just like this 19-year-old, but I've got these guns. I don't know where they came from, and we get onto the mats to do some wrestling, and Cecil and Stick are like, no, you must go there. So I'm like, why am I going here with Carl Brown and Chase Minnow, and then
same size arms?
So so then I realized actually these things are very skinny, and I learned quickly that I don't play with the Sevens player. These blokes will wrestle you to the ground, man.
That same year I also went. That was the year I made the academy week. I was 18 and I was still in school, grade 11, and I went. Coach Paul True was still there. And we also played with Flace.
Yes.
But Flace was still at the Sevens. That guy Paul made me tackle Flace.
No way.
From one try line to the other try line. He's running
all time
straight at me. One hit after the other. It was all tackle technique, tackle power, and just being robust. So when you mentioned that, even before I moved and committed fully to the Sevens, it was still rough like that.
It's
And-
rough.
and they don't want you to pick on, like, don't go with the guy that's the same size as you, because places like this. And I was like,
Yeah.
so it's always you matched up with really strong guys to get you to be tough as well.
To get to that level.
Yeah, it was mad.
How did you do it? I mean, easy work for you.
He bumped me like 80 meters of the 100. Just keep getting up.
But you kept getting up.
kept
That's
getting
the
up.
tackle fight. Yeah.
I hope I'd see that guy one day again. And I'll just thank him, because he taught me a few lessons in just
With character.
100-meter space.
Yeah.
Then, brother, you came back and you were in PE.
Yeah.
That was a great time. I enjoyed jamming with you.
Yeah.
I still watch our clips, our games
No, you
from
don't.
the Red and Black. I promise you. You know, who was our Shone?
Barney.
Barney created highlight reels for us. So
I think he loved it. He loved it more than the guys watching. He was like, yeah.
I loved it for that, because those things actually used to hype us up before a game, and I still have them. I still watch them and I enjoy watching them. And I see all the guys, even Cooks now. Cooks is a presenter. He's traveling up and down.
He's massive, yeah.
But he used to be in that squad as well.
He was there.
And it was amazing. It was a really great time. But you also played a bit for the Madibas and Kings as well, time in PE. When you moved on to continue your rugby in South Africa, obviously you're growing up as well now. You also got a bit of a stint with the senior team at the Kings and a little bit with the Eagles in George. While all of this is happening and you're going through your rugby career, did you know that you want to be an entrepreneur one day, or did you have an idea what you're going to do?
So I think it was always embedded in me, watching my parents do like their work and go about their business. I knew I wanted to do something in real estate and something in business, but I wasn't sure what the business was. I'm still not sure now, but I don't know. I wasn't sure what the business was, but I knew that I can't do a desk job. Even now, like, we have our meetings and
You're so used to being outside in the...
Do you know what I mean? And I don't mind like being in there for like 30 minutes, but don't tie me to a desk for an hour or 2 hours. I'm like, guys, I'm going a bit haywire. But actually, funny story. So when I was 19, I actually playing a league game, dislocated my ankle and broke my leg. It's the first time I'd ever done that. I've broken anything in my body. And I remember they gave me like a green whistle. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's like, they suck on this thing and like, it feels like being in a room of paint. So you get so high and you like...
Reminds me of Oscar's story.
So, but you don't like feel any pain or whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm on the table and they're getting the ambulance ready, and then I phone my dad. And I'm like, Dad, my leg's broken and I've dislocated my ankle. And I just remember the tears coming out. So I hadn't cried to the point where I was like, tears coming out. And to me in my mind I was like, it's over now. You're done. It's broken. I don't know if they'll be able to fix what's going on, but it's done. And then I came back and I was like doing the rehab and everything, and then he was just like, cool, do this rugby thing. So he called my stint in Oz a gap year.
3 years.
3 years, a gap year, But I think he was making light of the situation, like he would call it a gap year. But then, so coming back, and he was always like, it's like you need to study while you're playing your game. He used to call it your game. I don't know what your dad.
I love a black parent. Yay.
Both my parents were like that.
What is it?
What is this rugby? Is this even a job? So I get you.
But they grew up in a time where a lot of their friends played soccer and that type of thing, and you saw how like the rise to fame, and then they lose it all. So I don't think life kind of prepares you for that part, like
Where it stops.
I wouldn't say where it stops. So, like with yourself, so you became Sevens rugby captain, right? And you thought making the Sevens, being like a Sevens national player and playing for your country was pinnacle, right?
Yes.
Then you became captain.
Yes.
So you have like the next level now.
Yes.
Now you're sitting there and you're like, oh wow, like the whole time I was looking at other people, now everyone's looking at me, you know, and they're like, Shakes, what's going on? What are we doing? What are we, where are we moving to? Shakes, we've got a new player joining. So this demands a new level of you.
So true.
Now the focus is on you.
That is so true.
You know what I mean? And then you go, cool, so Shakes is becoming, as you, like you looking at yourself, you're like, sure, now I'm becoming the guy that I never thought I could become, but I'm that guy.
Yeah.
If you think about you in the shower,
Yeah.
wow. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it was like an impossible dream, but
so true.
now you're like, all right, okay, so now I need to make an impact and I got to add value. I got to add value. I can't just be the leader on the field. I still have to play my game and I'm delivering. You probably scored more tries as captain than you did.
You are so right, bro.
You know?
And you're so oblivious of it when it's happening, but like you almost, it's like a hamster wheel. You gotta chase it.
You gotta chase it. Yeah. So then you become like you become the guy.
Yeah.
Right? And no one prepares you for that because you don't know what comes. Obviously, you had the sponsors before, but you would have more sponsors now. You would have more conversations with the coaches. The coaches are looking at you differently. Media is looking at you differently. Your teammates are looking at you differently. And even the guys you're playing against are now looking at you differently, you know? And I think, so that kind of like, I would say, so like, when I came back here, obviously it was like, you know, get back to playing like your best and to what you love. And I think the whole time, I mean, I really enjoyed our stint because it was such a good environment. The guys just pushed each other and they were like demanding the best of each other. And it was just young guys that wanted to play rugby. Didn't care about like who had the best boots or who, we just did, you know. And you like what I loved was when you guys were staying at the army base.
Hey, taking it back. Yeah.
Take it back and
humble.
coming in there, and I'm like, I like see the environment you guys in, and I'm like, this is actually hectic for me. But I'm like, but these gents are pushing.
Yeah.
These gents are pushing harder than the thing. So I was like, maybe I should come live in here. Maybe, you know what I mean? So maybe let's come live in here.
You don't want to,
Just come like, you know what I mean? But I'll give you one story. So we used to go to the beach and go cold plunge.
Yeah.
And I was with my dad had come down for a weekend to come watch a game. So he started loving it now. He started loving your game. He started becoming, So, and he started telling a few more of his friends and all that my son's playing rugby. And, so he came to the beach with us, and I was actually like, Dad, it's 7 a.m. Like, you don't have to wake up then.
Yeah.
He was like, no. Like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? And
were you playing seniors at the time? Eh?
No, under 21s. Under 21s, yeah. So you come, and we'd gone to the beach. I don't know where it was. It was like between Blue Water Bay and somewhere else. That beach.
Oh, Sultana Bay.
Was it Sultana?
It
was one of those ones. No, not the dunes. There was another beach like Blue Water Bay side.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
We had gone there, and I was like, oh, Dad, I really don't feel like this, man. Like today, I don't feel like. And he looked at me and he was like, you know, when I was growing up, and he lived in PE, he's like, we were only allowed to swim here at night. And I was like, what? He said, we're only allowed to swim here at night. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, no, during the day it was for white people, and in the evening you could sneak in into it, which actually weren't allowed to. And that day the water was bath water. It was warm. And you become a bit more grateful for it, you know. And but then obviously like PE is a small place, so you have like people that you just, you know, that would ask for your autograph now and then, or like, you know, like young kids that are like, oh, you guys kick players, you know, like that type of thing. And then after that you start realizing that like maybe the dream's over or it's still there. Then SWD came along, so it was a second lifeline. Tough first year at SWD, tough first year. Also adapting to the language, wasn't speaking Afrikaans, didn't know Afrikaans, didn't do Afrikaans at school. I think you know what that's like. And then you start speaking Afrikaans, because the chance is speaking Afrikaans. And my girlfriend at the time was actually Afrikaans. But we spoke English. And she kept saying to me, she's like, if you give Afrikaans a chance, you will understand it's a beautiful language. And I was like, you know what, fair. So I started learning Afrikaans, but the coloured way.
Of course, you play with colored players,
mostly, and beautiful. The most descriptive.
I agree with you. You know, there's some words, or there's some expressions or things that you want to get across, that you can't say it in any other way for your point to get across unless you say it in Afrikaans.
Wait to be like, this is what I'm saying.
It is a beautiful.
You know what it's like.
It is.
And I'm sure you also had to, like, you would have learned how to speak Afrikaans while living in Stellenbosch, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fluent.
We were coached in Afrikaans. We still are coached in Afrikaans. So
it's tough.
You learn it. And it does play as an advantage when you're on the circuit. That other teams don't understand what you're saying. Until the one year when we had a guy in the England team that was from South Africa, whose mom was Afrikaans or something, but played for the England team, and we were shouting our lineouts, and he knew all of them. Studied everything the night before. Studied everything. He knew all the numbers, the numbers, without the numbers again. And we were like, it's like, it's going to the front. They took all our balls. So, but anyway, I think just learning that it's been great, you know. And I guess I've grown from knowing another language. And not that great in speaking it, but I can hear.
You got it.
I got it. But it's just, you have to be patient with me. As ek 'n bietjie moet saam met jou praat, so
it's almost
vat 'n bietjie tyd. But Pravi, I think I must say outright that it was actually a great transition, or it was great to see you transition the way that you did, you know, because many people might not know, and I've had the privilege to see, call it a privilege, to see a lot of guys, because I played with, when I came into the game, I was 21, I was playing with like Andre Strauss, Tiger McGee, the guys that were Steven Sykes, they were at the end. So I could see how they ended and how they finished off. And the transition was not easy.
It's tough.
It's tough.
That one's tough. I remember when I came back to Joburg, so when I was like retired and living in Joburg, 2016, and I bumped into Alma Smith at a Starbucks, and I didn't know her, so I just like approached her and was having a conversation with her, and she was like, it's easier to leave the game younger than it is to leave it when you're older. And I think, like, obviously when you're older, you leave the game with a bit more like zug in the pocket, and you have a lot more connections. But when you're younger, you can still like study, you can still maneuver into what you want to do, and you can still kind of have like the next journey of life for a 10-year period. Then you start what you want to do. And I see it now with a lot of the older guys, the guys that are like Strauss. I mean, like Strauss is a good example, right? So I still see him quite often because he's either flying through or I've been to him in Cape Town or something, and his transitions have been good, but he's got a good support structure. So his wife is like unbelievable to his cause, if you know what I mean. And like I can see it as well with yours. So if you have that, I think you are very good. You are very good, and it will be very seamless moving into what you used to do and what used to get you up at 6 a.m. to something new. But you'll be chasing the same thing because the feeling's still the same. So for me now, like I've obviously just moved into like the family role of like restaurateuring and hospitality and that type of thing. And also even in that, you sometimes don't feel like you've got your own like your own personality. Whereas like, you know, like when you play now, you've got guys in the team and like you mentioned characters, but they've all got their own personality. So when somebody sees Shakes, they see you as a leader, they see the Under Armour ambassador, and they connect to that. If they look at like Roscoe Speckman, they'll connect with what his sponsors are and who he is as a person, you know. So when you're in a work environment, everyone's just like part of the cause, you're part of the business, and the business is their personality, and we all just are driving cogs of it. So then I was like, like you kind of lose a bit of sense of like who you are, and you still want to be important. So you have to be important to yourself, if you know what I mean. And a lot of the time, the guys that retire, finish rugby, doesn't matter what age, they lose the importance of self. And so I went searching. So I was like, I need to do something for myself. Got falling into a really great business, really great brand, but I need to do something for myself. So I started a water company. We used to do some water in a box, so it was like a sustainable business, and that was challenging. Just also, again, like nobody tells you what pitfalls you're going to go through, what the challenges are in business, and what you need to look for, and whatever. And I'm not a numbers guy, which I probably should have focused more, but I'm not a numbers guy. And I feel like that's my Achilles heel. So now I've needed to learn that and needed to focus on that and need to understand that. And then I had a really great partner in the business. We closed the business since, but we will probably look to renew it again now. But in that, you also, because we were the first to do the product in Africa, we were the first to do it. We didn't have any benchmark, so we couldn't go, this product should be doing this, or should be doing that. Like our only benchmark was America, but SA is not the same as America. So you have different, like, you can't bring the same product over here and think it's going to work and sell to the same people. It's different. So those type of things are very challenging, and you learn a lot of this, but you need the discipline, which you get from playing sport. But in our first like 3 years, we had like, I remember like one of the biggest events was, and actually not far from here, they had an event with Investec and Virgin, the Virgin Group, and they had Richard Branson on there, and they had the CEOs from Investec, and I remember I'd gone with my girlfriend at the time, and we were sitting, and we were looking at the stage, and the stage had our waters on the thing, and I was looking at her, and I was like, this is so crazy that like, this is an idea, we took it, we formulated it, and now I got Richard Branson drinking like water in a box, you know. And I was like, this is crazy, you know. But also again, like you're not ready for that. So now I'm like, I wish it would happen now, because I would have known how to like capitalize on that, make it blow up, but you live in the awe. Yeah.
Nah, amazing. So you basically take it as it comes, and you keep learning as you go.
You have to keep learning. Once you become unteachable, you lose a lot in business, and you lose a lot in life.
Yeah, crazy. I was actually thinking in the gym this morning that right now I understand that I can't kind of give half an effort because I'm the professional rugby player in this room right now.
You were the guy. You were the guy.
So and I was asking myself, when I'm done playing, what's driving me on this session today? What's gonna drive me when I'm done?
Yeah.
So it was just interesting when you were mentioning the transition and going through all of that. That literally just clicked for me now, and it happened this morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions, probably, and then we'll finish up.
Yeah.
And like I said, really stoked on how you transitioned and really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I'm at the tail end of my career, so soon I will.
So fresh.
So soon I'll call time as well on that career. But how do you define success now?
Sure. That's really a tough one. I've asked a lot of my mentors this question, how they define success. But I think for me personally, it's whether you can put your head on a pillow at night, without you knowing that are you a good person inside, if you know what I mean? Do you have a spiritual connection? Whatever it is, whoever you pray to, but are you spiritually connected? So for me, it's with God and with Christ. So I have a Bible my mom gave me since I was 18, and it goes everywhere with me, and I read it every day. It keeps me grounded and it keeps me connected. But I think for you to have assets as a measure of success is not, I think it's good for the time being, but it's also material. So I find it very hard to answer that question. But if you can sustain yourself and you can sustain those around you and the people that mean a lot for you.
For me.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah. But if you can sustain that and you're happy inside, it's no point of being overworking yourself but you're unhappy. That the reward's not worth, the lemon's not worth the squeeze then. But I think if success is obviously ever changing, and I think in 20 years time my answers might be irrelevant, but the core values of it, which is your family, your base, the goodness in you, and if you can change one person's life or 100 people's lives, that's a successful person. And also like you're doing now, getting people to share their story and you also opening up on yourself is this is a big part of success. You don't need the runs on the scoreboard to be I'm a successful guy, but sharing value and I think understanding where you come from and understanding the people around you, I think that's what creates it.
And even then, when you're older, the Christ in you, you'll still feel successful.
You still feel successful. You take the guy to the grave with you, right?
Lastly, Bravi, what keeps you unshakable today?
What keeps me unshakable? Sure.
You are on the Unshakeable podcast.
This morning kept me unshakable. Sure, you pushed me really hard in there. I was looking and I was like...
it was amazing, but it was really hard.
It was hard. I'll tell you, I remember you not being the big weight guy.
No.
You were not the big weight guy. But today, seeing you take the heavy weights and being like, guys, let's push, let's fight. I think that's seeing you still have fight in you and still go for peak performance when easy in a class like today because nobody's watching.
Yeah.
I think those are the parts that I would say would is my unshakable moment.
I like that.
Is watching you pace through life
that.
and just deliver, man. Deliver. Ravi,
Thank you, Ravi.
thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Unshakable family. You know what? What an incredible episode. Really enjoyed it. But again, it has to come to an end, and we'll catch you next time on the next episode. Cheers. Thanks for tuning into Unshakable. If today's story moved you, inspired you, or gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about staying rooted when the world shakes. If you haven't already, hit follow, leave a review, and help us grow this community of resilient voices. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, stay unshakable.